Oh, bring your eyes to the circle. Welcome, everyone. I'm so delighted you're here. Happy to begin this group. And I'd love for each of us to have a moment to check in. I think this is a rarefied opportunity to really create a circle of support of peers and fellow seekers, spiritually aware people. So I'd love for you to share what's alive for you, your name, what's alive for you, what you're passionate about, and maybe who you are in the world. So we can kind of get to know you. And would anyone be willing to time? We'll do 2 minutes. Great, thank you, Olivia. So at 1.5 minutes, you might just kind of wave your hand because people aren't necessarily looking at you. And at 2 minutes, hold up your phone. We'll know it's done. Okay. Thank you. I am terrible at timing. And I have an app and it disappeared. We might have it another time. Okay, who would like to check in first? What's alive for you? What you're passionate about? Who you are in the world, or if there's something important you want us to know, whatever you'd like to share. Who's first? Marie, you'll need to unmute.
Yeah.
I muted you. But bottom left, probably. There you go.
Okay, there I am. Thank you. So my name is Marie and I'm retired, and I need to close my door 1 second. Sorry about that, my little doggies. I do energy work, healing work, intuitive work. I'm very passionate about that. I've known Evelina probably since the 70s. I'm not sure how long, but a long time. From California. I've retired here in Florida. What's passionate for me is doing this work, teaching this work, helping people connect with their intuition, with their spirit. I don't know what else to say. In my retirement, I'm loving my world. I'm loving my garden, my animals, my everything here. I'm in a beautiful place in life right now. I'm 81 years old, or 81 years young, I should say. And all is well. I am so happy to be here. Being part of Evelina's anything is wonderful for me. She's just my joy and my angel to even look at. So, yeah. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm anxious to get to know all of you. I believe that once we believe in a circle like this, is she waving her hand? No. Once we believe.
You did, though.
Did? Oh, okay. I'm done.
You finish your sentence. Once we believe in a circle like this.
I believe then we're sort of karmically connected.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be together if there wasn't some karmic spiritual connected for all of us. Yeah. So I'm anxious to learn all that. Thank you.
Beautiful. So what we like to do when someone shares is to give them sparkles. So I just want to ask, would you like that, Marie?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
So we're all sending our love and our sparkles. And when you feel enough, you just do the hands in prayer position. And then we do that, complete together. Yay. Juliet, I wonder if you could have a little more room above your head and maybe turn a little because that light's kind of bright. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. So who's next? And then whoever's next, start queuing up. So we'll keep going.
Yeah.
I'll go. So I met Evelina yesterday. I called her for a 20-minute session thing, and so the rest is history. She said this started today, and I am retired from corporate America for 37 years. I retired in 2011, and I started a healing practice. I just moved to Black Mountain 2 years ago. So I live in this beautiful home. I'm surrounded by nature, and nature called me here. The ley lines called me here. And I was doing a healing practice and then ended up with endometrial cancer in August, which was quite surprising. And but it's all perfect because everything's perfect. And I had my body had cancer, and I had what is that? Is it done?
No, there's 30 seconds left.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then I don't know what else to say in 30 seconds.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm getting all hot now because I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So anyway, I stopped my healing practice so I could focus on my own healing. And I'm here because it's like the opening of my heart and the healing of my body, and then taking all the things I've learned and figuring out how to put that together in my own modality.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like some loving?
Absolutely.
We work with consent, so we always ask first.
Mhm.
Okay, breathing it in. Ah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next.
I can go next. I unblurred my background because I figured for this group, but you know, it's you can see this is my bedroom with my prayer flags. So I'm Jan O. Wow, I laugh a lot. I work with spirits. I posted to that group, and I work with psychological shamanism, and I'm in this transition. And it was so amusing this morning because I'm trying to drop codependence, and I got caught in it this morning with somebody, and so I was just laughing about that because it kind of, made me a little bit later getting everything together. And then I'm like, oh, this is codependence. I'm leaving codependence, and my passion is I'm a writer, and I am writing a book called I Will Go Gently, Uncovering the Mysteries of How to Die Peacefully, Naturally, and in Good Health. And I'm in my last 30 years of life. So I'm 65 and kind of trying to figure out, am I retiring? I'm not. I'm closing my office today, so it's very synchronous. I've had a office as a psychotherapist for 31 years. I still talk to people, and I work with psychological shamanism. So I'm a psychotherapist that encourages people to hear voices and to connect with the guides. And I want to be more centered in my life, because there's some things that I think I'm not. I think there's shoulds that I should do, and there's passion, and I'm very high energy. I do a lot, and I want to either drop the things on my to-do list or actually do them. So that's part of why I'm here. So I'll take the sparkles.
All right.
Oh, that's kind of funny. This is so amazing, this electronic world, how we connect energetically, and now we're actually connecting electronically. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel the energy.
Yay. And who's next?
I can go next. Hi, my name is Jivan. I'm a life mentor and also a guide working different modalities with the psychedelics, leading ceremonies and leading microdosing groups. I met Evelina a week and a half ago in a puja, and she was talking about the mentorship, and immediately it was like, ding, 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 this is what I need to do. So here I am. I'm passionate about my work. I feel so grateful to do what I'm doing. I'm working with people and I can see the shifts and I can see a lot of healing happening around me. And, you know, I will do it for free. And yeah, what I'm looking in this work is, you know, to go to the next level with my practice. Both more people and more tools and whatever there is. Originally, I'm from Israel. I have been an engineer. I've been working in corporate world. At a certain point, I did a shift, and I'm not looking backward. I've been going through a breakup, which happened about a week ago, and part of it is I can see the parts which are compromising on myself and some places I stayed, even though it was not my truth. And hopefully, you know, I can see the connection to my childhood, and I'm talking about that because this is alive within me right now. So yeah, I'm so very grateful to be here and really looking forward to see what will happen. And yes, please, I'll take the sparkles.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome. Olivia, I just got a bright idea. If you raise the hand, which is down at the bottom under something. Oh, I thought that would be easy. Never mind. I'll figure it out by next time. So
I'll
who's
go.
next? Great.
And then just there's a thing on the bottom of the Zoom recording that says reactions. If you click on that, it has a raised hand. I think that's what you're talking to.
Yeah. So if you do that, then we can look at your screen and see that we've got 30 seconds left. So then you need to unraise it in between. How did you do that? I am
just
so skilled at this stuff. There we go.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
Okay.
So who's next? Brooke, were you starting? Great.
So my name is Brooke, and I am in a major transition in my life right now. I'm kind of leaving a lot of beliefs and ways of living and really kind of stepping into my holistic health and wellness practice. I've been studying Ayurveda for the past 3 years, which is kind of the mother science to yoga. It's the study of self-care and the soul and taking care of your human and taking care of your soul in an everyday way. I see myself as a guide, helping people to guide them and guiding themselves, to access their own innate gifts, their intuition, all those great things. And while I have had an awakening more so in like my spiritual life, and I have like this holistic health business, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner, somatic embodiment facilitator, yada, yada, yada. I also am really much in the everyday world, and my first passion was actually soccer, and I played at a really high level. And there's a part of my journey of being a soccer coach and really giving back to the next generation of young girls and really awakening that divine feminine spark that believes in themselves no matter what and unconditionally supports each other. Thank you. So what's alive for me right now is a lot of chaos. And through this transition and like just in the chaos, the storm that is happening, like flinging things off myself and really coming back into the center of who I am and my truth and showing up in integrity every single day and kind of opening more of my gifts and leading in that way. So thank you. I'll take sparkles too, please.
Breathing it in. Ah. You'll feel what a gift it is when you receive. Isn't that sweet? When it's taken in, I love it. It makes a gift that goes both ways when people receive. Yeah. All right.
So I'm actually going to ask if someone could time me and give me a
Yeah.
hand, please. Excellent.
I can-
Thank you,
I can
Jenna.
time you. Mhm.
It's a little difficult speaking and trying to time
Mhm.
myself.
Yeah.
So my name is Olivia, and right now in this moment, I'm just really in deep gratitude for being here. I recently met Evelina through a client of mine. I'm a QHHT level 2 practitioner. I'm also a Reiki master teacher. I've been attuned, I think, like 3 times so far by 3 different Reiki masters and master teachers. And I have been on this journey since the day I made my entrance into this world. And it's been a lifelong journey. I've always felt a call to serve, to be of service to others, to myself. I'm learning to be of service also to myself right now. And what's alive in me right now is a molting process. I feel like I'm molting. I'm just in this space of like constantly shedding, and it's uncomfortable at times and jarring at other times, unsettling. And so I'm doing my best to navigate through this. And what I'm looking forward to the class is to everyone's wisdom. I'm also looking to expound my business skills as well as my spiritual potential. And that's why I'm here. And thank you. That's all I have to say. I'll take some sparkles, please.
Oh, would you say what QH is?
Oh, QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis, developed by Dolores Cannon.
So potent.
Thank you.
All right, breathe it in. Beautiful. Excuse me. So I also check in because I like sparkles, so I'll check in first. I'm delighted that this group is coming together. Spiritual mentorship program is probably my favorite thing because we get to just work at such an evolved level. So sweet. And I've also been shedding. I think molting is a good word for it, actually. I have, Pluto just went into Aquarius, so it's putting everybody through their paces, almost everyone. I happen to have my sun exactly where Pluto is playing right now. So it's going to cross my sun and back, and it's going to go across. I'll be in a Pluto transit on my sun for 2 years. So I've been doing a lot of underworld work underworld journeys, and I didn't think any part of me was still there, but apparently, and that seems to have brought up an autoimmune condition. I haven't had any illness in 25 years at least. And I don't call this an illness. They say it's an elderly condition. I say, I don't do elderly diseases. No, thank you. So of course, it's taken me to, okay, what's under this? And it shows up as these really angry outbreaks. So I've been looking at where's anger and where's all of that started. And it arrived at birth. Yeah, that's where it started. And I realized that this life got laid on a foundation of anger and fear, because I was one of those 4-hour feeding schedule babies, which meant I was starving. And by the time I got food, which was this horrible formula, I couldn't keep it down because I was so angry. And so that was the foundation. So I've been clearing at that foundational level. And it's just fascinating how I can drop into those emotions, but I'm learning how to, today I just said, Babaji, lift me up, move me to a higher dimension, and be able to go up into the places where they're of a past that's not me. So it's really fascinating. I feel like my whole life I've been a living lab. Makes me good as a mentor. And I've had such pleasure because I just got back from California, a 5-day Soul Play Festival. Jan was there. It was extraordinary. 3 days at Harbin Hot Springs, soaking in the hot, soaking in the cold, lying in the sanctuary. So that's all very true as well. It's this combination of a very busy, almost over busy life and lots of stillness. And I just want more and more stillness. So that's me. And I'll take your Lolan. Thank y'all. Hearing everyone, I want to be in this group. Wow. Feels good, huh? So
I want to introduce because he's going to be part. He loves the computer. He's always here. This is my cat, Esprit, which means ghost in French. So
Esprit.
He's here. Esprit.
Esprit. Hello, Esprit. Wow. Welcome. So we are a 7-member group. We just didn't know it. So I want to invite you all to click on the link in the email you got yesterday, if you haven't, and go into the Mighty Networks group. I think it allows us to really get to know each other. And what I ask each week, if you're willing, is go write your intentions for the week in the group. People will comment on them. We'll read each other's. We can empower each other's. We can say prayers for each other. And it's also an accountability thing, because by the next week, I'll ask you to check in on your intentions. And so if you put them there, it helps you implement them in your world. And anything else you want to share, beautiful poetry. One woman went on once and sang to everyone. So any way you'd like to relate to the group. And you can set your Mighty Networks to give you a notification whenever anybody posts. And so you'll get an email, and then you can make it a daily digest if you want. You can go in and click on the post and see who's there. It's a little clunky. It's not perfect, but it's what we have. And it's private. It will always just be our group. Yes, Siobhan.
I'm looking right now at the Mighty Network, and it seems like it's more than just our group. There's other people there. So what do we need to get into the group?
So on the left side or somewhere, it should say Summer 2023 Spiritual spiritual mentorship.
Okay.
And that's just our group.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. There are other, you may have other Mighty Network groups. I have several, but if you just always click into this one, you'll be in our group and no one else can come in. Okay. And then up. Wow, you guys have been at, wow, this is fabulous. You've been active. So up here, you can click on notifications and that shows you who's joined. Olivia wants permission. I'm going to approve all because it's just us. So you should all be approved if you've joined. And I look at this each day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, and comment. So it's a way to communicate with each other. And then you've got all these resources. Maybe now they show up. These are all of the things that are already in here for you, different practices and tools and resources, and the replays will be put in here each week. Especially if I remember to turn on the recording. Okay. Get back to you. There we are. And whatever anyone is going through, you can post your own challenges because probably someone here has dealt with that and can be of support to you. So if you have resources to give, that's great. Comment, as long as we're not doing fix it, because nobody needs to be fixed. We're all just amazing, divine. But to use it as a portal for community and growth.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm a little challenged when it comes to these things, so I'm not sure. Am I supposed to go to an email to find this, or would
Yes.
some me later? I don't want to take up any time, but
I sent you all an email yesterday. I thought I'd sent it and I hadn't, so it was late last night. But it's an email from me that says, welcome to, if you put that in, you'll find it. Welcome to the summer spiritual mentorship group. So it's in there and you don't need to do it now, but if you don't find the email, send me a text.
okay, because I don't have the email. I think I accidentally erased all my emails.
Oh,
So that's why I'm not
That's-
good at this. So,
that's one way to get out of work.
right.
Yeah, I might do that.
Well, it could be sent again. I'd appreciate it. And I'll
It
pay.
will be.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll send it again. All right. So I think of Earth Plane as a school. I think it's a schoolroom. That's why our lives aren't so very easy. Because as souls, we're out there in this vastness and there's so much love and consciousness available. But our soul gets curious about some lesson and it sets up a life with the strange childhoods we have to learn those lessons. And I think if we understand that we're here for the lessons, we can let go of why am I having a hard time or why don't I get that? Because that's your course of study. And some things that you would think I'd be done with that by now, just like this piece about self-love, I would have told you I don't have anger and I have a deep sense of self-love and self-care. And then the body says, oh, well, let's go deeper, shall we? And that's the lesson that I came here to learn about love, about total unconditional love. And now I get to apply it at a cellular level, which is easy and not easy. And I think especially for light workers, we may have taken on the most intense lessons. I also feel very often those who are opened by complex trauma become the best light workers. So not always, but very often it's the very things we've had to deal with and go through that gives us our capacity to want to support others and to really be there for them. Perhaps it's how we earn our wings. I'm not sure. And one of the advantages of age is I think it's all worth it. I had 5 perpetrators and a possession. I've had a lot to deal with, and every bit of it has made me better at what I offer the world, which at this stage, that's all I want to do is offer my legacy to the world. So I want to read a quote to you. This is from way, way back, I think the 1930s or something, by W.H. Murray, and I'll post it in Mighty Networks. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elemental truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. Let me read that again. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there's one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. And this is that truth. The moment that one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings, and material assistance, which no one could have dreamt would have come their way. Whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So breathe that in. The moment one definitely commits itself, then providence moves too. What I notice, it's come through in multiple channelings, is when you're actually walking the path of your heart, when you're following your passion, that's where all the resources are, because that's where Spirit puts them. All the resources are on the path of your heart, the path of your greatest passion. And so when you follow your passion, you'll find what you need arises for you. All sorts of things occur to help that would otherwise never have occurred. And I've seen it so many times. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no one could have dreamt would have come your way. So just feel into commitment. Can I let myself deepen in the commitment to what I'm calling into myself? How do I foster commitment? Breathe into that. And then if you will, get your journal and pen and put it in reach. We're going to do an exercise that will help deepen our clarity about what we're calling in. And I'll guide you in this, and you can either just stay inside with what you're learning, or if you wish to journal in response to each of the prompts, that would probably be wise. Your choice. Okay? And I think I'm just going to mute everyone just so we have that quiet. All right. So breathing, once again, calling in your light, let it spiral down your core, follow it in, come sit in the sanctuary of your heart. And open your grounding, that new, fresh grounding, link it up to your light. So your light flows in, brings you in, and links to your grounding. You can let it wash through your roots into the earth. Feeling yourself supported by those deep roots, by the light of your soul. Come into your heart, to that sanctuary in your heart. Welcome in the light of your soul, asking your soul to guide you through your heart. And welcoming in your highest, clearest, most radiant guidance to help you really hear the highest wisdom of your heart, your heart and soul. First prompt, first question to ask in your heart. What do I most deeply desire to bring into fruition in my life? What do I most deeply desire to bring into fruition in my life? Breathe into that. Journal if you wish, or draw. Letting your heart reveal to you what you most deeply desire to bring into fruition. And then ask, and if you need more time, raise your hand and I'll know to wait. Then ask, what need in me would that meet? What need in you would that meet? Breathing into it. Recording whatever comes up. What need in you or needs in you would that meet? And the next question, if you're ready. What impedes me from going there? What impedes me from going there? And next, how do I give that power to block me? Whatever that impediment is, whatever's in the way, how do I give it power to block me? And how do any impediments serve me? Everything serves in some way. So get curious. If it stays in your way, how is it serving you? Breathing, letting that go. If I lived this dream, what would I have let go of? If I lived this dream, what would I have let go of? And if I lived this dream, what would I have gained? What would I have gained? What new would come in your world, in your inner world especially? What would I have gained? And what permissions do I need to give myself? What would open more doors for you? What permissions do you need to give yourself? And while we're waiting for others to finish, just focus on giving yourself those permissions. And breathing. Dropping deeper into the sanctuary of your heart, sitting at that altar. And offer up these impediments. And I want to suggest you use your hands because it gets the attention of the subconscious. It only changes by ritual or imagery. So just imagine your hands can gather them up from wherever they are in your body, offer them up to the angels, to guides, release them out your crown or down your grounding. And be dramatic because that gets the attention of the subconscious. It's like, I'm done with this. I release this. I'm getting out of my own way completely. Lift any burden off your shoulders, any monkey off your back, whatever's been in the way. It's to be transmuted in the light of all the beings we've gathered here. Thank you, Goddess. I release, I let go, I turn it over. Blessed be. And then bring your light in again and fill the places you've just cleared. Sitting in at the altar, the center of your heart. What does my heart tell me is possible? Hmm. Thanking your heart. Blessing yourself. Just maybe saying to your heart, I like your guidance. Help me continue to remember to listen to you. Blessed heart. In many ways, the heart is where Source can most easily touch us. The heart and the chakras beyond the crown. So arriving there in your heart with your spiritual resources and your blessing. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes again to the circle. And I'd love for any of you to share what you learned. Maybe not detail by detail, but what did you learn? What did this give you?
I can share. It's very interesting because I had a very just before that, and it's all connected. And part of the whole thing is some childhood wounds that I carry from some mother wounds that I'm carrying. And basically, I had to release some kind of dismiss a part of me which was responsible for telling the truth and determining my boundaries and say when I need to leave situation, when I need to leave situations. And everything about the whole thing is about locate my guiding in my way and listening to my gut feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected to that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it all resonates very well together. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I think you unmuted.
Yeah, that was great. I think I kind of expanded beyond what you were sharing, Evelina, about birth. And when I was born, I remember being in this oneness, and I was like, you know, when being born, I was pretty pissed myself, and like, oh my God, these humans aren't even telepathic. How the hell am I ever going to connect with them? And you know, and so, you know, 65 years later, I'm actually enjoying life, and I just got that I can really, I'm doing this apprenticeship with the shamanistic of being in two places at once and being all this oneness, that the more I'm oneness, the more I'm myself. And so, yeah, I'm really feeling that and embodying that. And also, one of my fears is that if I go too far out, which I do go pretty far out, I leave the human and physical world a lot. But yet it actually, ironically, it helps me connect, because I'm more connected to myself. So the more I go out, the more I go in. So, so I'm realizing I can really totally embody the oneness and be in this world and other worlds. And I was practicing at a soul plate. It was really cool. I love that experience. It was wonderful. So that was very powerful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yay. Yes, and. Who else? Juliet?
That was really great. I first have to say though, the bringing me into my heart. So I'm just going to say what I was given because it was so beautiful. I was given a chair that I can go sit in my heart.
No.
And so I have a chair now in my heart that's inviting me to sit there.
Mhm.
And it's really, for me, that was profound. And it feels really beautiful. So, and that the one thing I took away for me is that it's okay to be full of love and joy, regardless what others do or think of my light. Because I think as a child, I do know that I came in with the light, like so many, you know, light workers came in full of joy. And then everybody, it was to like, get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. So I spent my life getting rid of that light, like fighting against having the light. And so my chair is there for me to go back into the heart and to connect with it, to bring in that light and to be strong in knowing that it's safe to have a light. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Safe to be light.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you. Who else?
That felt very raw and very just kind of like no more nonsense type of thing, and seeing all the ways that I continue to stay small and suppress my light, and the sadness that is there, as well as the underlying fire within that, and not necessarily knowing how everything, of course, will transpire, but just having a deeper sense of faith and trust that in each moment, the right things will come through, the right people and the right everything, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I just want to ask, how many of us are willing to have everyone be their full light? Yes? Just be as light as you want to be. Yeah. It's my greatest gift to the world. Thank you. So Marie, you started, but I need to have you unmute again. Bottom left.
Got
There.
it. There I am. So the one thing that surprised me is when you asked about giving myself permission. What do I need to give myself permission to? Suddenly fear came up.
Hmm.
Let go of fear. And then I looked at, well, what is that fear about? I didn't know there was any fear there. And I'm realizing that maybe part of it is my age, but part of it is my wondering, when do I stand in my worth? When do I speak my worth? When do I feel?
Mhm.
Here I am at this age. It's like, if not now, when? Kind of, which is why I'm participating in this. I always feel like I'm never enough. I always feel like as much as I give, it's not enough. Maybe my training's not enough, or maybe my knowledge is not enough. And when do I start feeling like enough? You know? So that's what I'm getting from this. It's like, it's surprising me.
Mhm.
I didn't know that was there. To me, that's the gremlin negative work speaking up, which I thought I had conquered. I thought other than what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I realized there's still more work for me to do to have the confidence to speak about what I do to others in order to create the business I'd like to create with the work I do. That's it.
Good. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I just want to comment that I think we want to let go of conquering any part of us because it sets up a battle, and they may just go underground and operate from underground. I want to meet it with love. So when this anger and fear came up, I wanted to just go be with the parts of me that were so angry and so fearful. And first I was trying to clear the anger because I didn't want it in my body. And then these little ones said to me, stop it. That anger had power. We needed that anger. Our other choice was so much fear. We needed the anger. We want you to honor it. They're just tiny ones, but they told me off. And so I really sat and honored the anger because it had a purpose when it was there. And I thought I was done and I had more outbreaks. And I went, oh, I didn't do the fear. So this week I'm sitting in the fear part of me. And I think what these places in us that sabotage want is our presence and our love. And mostly they're parts of us that are still caught way back in the past. And so we'll probably do some soul retrieval here. I'm going and finding that part and bringing them into current time because they were in your love and they no longer need to operate in that old way.
Mhm. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're great. You totally got the meta message of those words. Thank you. Olivia?
For me, what came up was something that was so familiar, which is me just standing in my own way. And as I was answering these questions, I, like Marie, it's like, well, you know, what do I give myself permission? I think Marie touched upon that. It's what do you give yourself permission in this moment to do? And because I was born into a certain construct, so familial construct that is a cultural construct that does not allow women to have a voice.
Mhm.
It has been a challenging path to even know what my voice is, what that sounds like, and what it's meant to really say.
Mm.
So I literally could see the attachments that I had to all these false selves and these constructed parts of me that were imposed upon me through my family, through my culture, through friends, even myself, things that I've actually made myself believe. Somebody mentioned unworthiness, and I made myself believe that I'm not worthy somehow, and that I needed to give myself permission to let go of that, to just destory it, deconstruct it, cancel it out of my field or whatever. But yeah, this was really powerful. And in this moment, as I'm speaking, I still feel as though there's something going on that I'm unable to really verbalize. And I just want to share that.
Beautiful. So something's stirring, something's shifting. I love this image of the egret behind you. I feel like something's trying to take flight. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I have a thought that might be useful for you, and I'll put this in Mighty Networks. There's a practice I do with 3 concentric circles. You just draw on a piece of paper. And you might do that and then take all of these definitions of yourself and place them somewhere on that, or it could be a collage that has a center point. Place them somewhere on that based on how close they are to your true self. And what definitions would be in the center of that, the center circle, that are what is truly you, your real passion, your real being, and what has been assigned to you. And then the outer circle might be culture and all of the total mistaken ideas about women don't have a voice. And that may help you to move some of that out and really get clear about what's truly me. So put it in Mighty Networks. It's also a great priority setting tool. So if you have 20 things you think you might want to do, or if you're like me, you proliferate options, you've got hundreds, you do the 3 circles and you put things on those by how close they are to your heart. So the center circle is what you're passionate about. And the next circle, that's fine, I'm willing to do that. That supports this one. And then the outer circle is the shoulda, coulda, wouldas that everybody else has about who you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to do. And it's interesting because I've seen things over the years of doing this that were in the center circle, and then they moved to the outer circle because I'd done them. And I needed to make room for something else in the center. So it doesn't mean it's bad or wrong. It just means that's not where my heart is now. So it helps. It's a focusing tool. It's all posted. And I posted the questions of this, so you have it. You can do it again in any area of life. And I posted the quote. Good. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you all. So, just take a breath. We're going to take a 15-minute break, and we will come back at, let's say, 7 after the hour. 7 after the hour, I'll see you. And you can stop your video and mute if you wish, or not as you wish.
Oh, I have 2 minutes before I have to get back on. Can I reach the door? No, it won't.
Welcome back. I also forget to turn off the recording on our break. So when you listen, you can just fast forward 15 minutes. Sorry about that. I'm very good at lots of details and not at everything. So I just get to accept that. The 3 circles I talked about, they're now in Mighty Networks. Jen just put them in under the hashtag of time management. So you have that. Okay.
I chatted you. I was actually asking a kind of a process question about how the group works, and if we had like process comments, or if we wanted to ask a question, how that works and how you like to handle all that.
If you have a question, I'm happy to have you raise your hand, where it feels appropriate, and ask your question. So this would be a good time, and then we're going to bring in the Council of 12.
Okay. Well, I actually, you will recognize this from Soul Play of sharing when there's an ouch that happens.
Uh-huh.
So I'll give more details. I'll share, because I write a lot on this topic. So I'll share it in Mighty Networks. But when when people refer to the light, or you say encouraging everyone to be their light, for me, I kind of tense up because for me, that reminds me of the social and cultural valuing of light over dark. And I work a lot with white privilege and trying to dismantle that. And so I prefer the words embodying our love, wholeness, oneness, and avoiding disconnection and all. So I just wanted to share and encourage that I would prefer we use the terms love rather than light, and because it's just that duality. And like I said, I call it kind of a spiritual racism. So I'll write more about that, but I just wanted to let you know it's a little painful for me to hear the words light and dark when used in that duality that can mirror the cultural duality of that.
Okay. I received that. I'm a little surprised.
Mhm.
What I'm meaning by that word of light isn't the same as love. So I'll have to work to find something else to say, because to me, that's not the same.
Mhm.
Oneness isn't quite the same. Essence. Invoke your essence, your true essence. Does that work?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll work on it. And I have decades of experience that I may have to move through.
Mhm.
It's so funny. In our world, we keep getting more aware of all these ways that we make dualities and divide people. And it seems like every month or every year, there's another level to learn. So I'm open to it. I've learned a lot, and we'll keep learning.
Thank you. And I'll post more about it that people can read if they want. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone have a comment on that, or? Yes, Juliet?
Oh, yeah. So I'm just trying to understand. So, when I say that, for me, I don't want to feel like I have to I have to stop what I want to say for me, because like I'm saying, when I said it's like, regardless of others think of my, thank you for my light, like it doesn't matter. Like I don't have a context that I'm coming into the world saying light me, my light skin or dark. I'm just talking about the light. Like I'm just talking about my being, like people seeing you, mean just glowing, like the divine coming through. So I just trying to understand, I don't want to feel like I have to not say what I feel. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Like I'm not sure what to do, because so I'm trying to respect what you're saying, but trying to understand how we then don't don't take and then dampen ourselves to make sure you're
Mhm.
okay. Like that's what
Absolutely.
I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to own that this is my reaction and putting it out there. And words are just very powerful. And oftentimes we don't realize just how much in our language light and white are positive words and black and dark are negative words. And not that, anyone here sees, the shadow or dark probably is negative, but it is pervasive in our culture. So it's just an awareness. So please don't dampen your selfness or authenticity.
Okay, I just wanted to check in because I didn't want to do something with, like, whoa, what are you saying? I'm not sure. Okay, thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I see it as such a continuum, and it's all in each of us. So I can go down to these levels where I'm not in touch with my essence at all. And then there's a whole lot of spaces between that and where I am in touch. So to me, it's not a binary, it's a continuum. And I think what we're meaning by embodying our light is moving higher in that continuum. I don't know if that's any help at all, Jan.
Well, that's why, just that again, and I don't want to take up too much time on that, but referring to that light as higher in this culture of hierarchies says that's better. And when we go down more in the dark, then we're less connected, then that's more of a negative. So it's just an awareness, and it's so in our culture and so embedded in our spiritual practices and words. So I just like to make people aware and just to be conscious.
If I may,
Yes.
I just want to say thank you, Jan O, for bringing that up. And as I'm learning new languages and I speak different languages, first of all, it's so limited. Our words are so limited in terms of really, truly expressing the essence of spirit, of the universe, of the cosmos, of God. It's just, to me, has been very, very limited. I would not go as far as to say inadequate, just simply very limited. And so learning the new languages and learning to detach from the so-called cultural norms of like darkness being bad, black being bad, light being good, the whole hierarchy, I feel we are moving in essence towards that. And I feel, as Evelina said, it's a fluidity. So it's this beautiful dance that we're doing by shifting it ever so, sometimes subtly, sometimes very forcefully. But I have to say thank you, Jan O, for just really bringing it up to the forefront. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all for listening.
Beautiful.
My practice of being authentic.
I think that's what we're all doing here. I love that. Marie?
Yeah, so I'm curious about what comes up for me is the yin and yang, the fact that we need the light and the darkness to be one, and it both travel in that all the time. I don't see either one as negative. Like you said at the beginning, we're on this planet to grow. So it's almost like another word for me for light would just be spirit. It's just the spirit. And I can use that word instead of light, but there is always just the yin and yang, and that's all perfect. That it's both. So I could easily switch to the word spiritual instead of the word light, because to me they mean the same. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the opposite, which is darkness. We have to be there too. But I don't see any of it negative. To me, it's all positive. Yeah.
Having spent a lot of the last 2 months in the underworld, I'll tell you, it's pretty interesting down there. I've had quite a tour. And I do think of it as down in terms of lower vibration,
Mhm.
not in terms of good, bad, but in terms of I have to be there, I have to really lower my vibration. And to be in my radiance, like today, I woke up kind of in this, whatever this is, and off center. And I did the Bija mantrams, and I really contacted my primary guide in the light of, see, there it is. It's just how I feel it, in the light of God, in the light of our love, and the radiance of our love. And I raised my vibration so I could be clear for you all. So it's going to be an interesting shift. We'll work with it. And I do like this. In our Tantra cohort, we do oops and ouches.
Mhm.
Something that you've said or done that feels like an oops, you own it. And if there's an ouch, you own it. And that keeps us clear, keeps us transparent with each other.
So I want to say one word about that because, there's a lot of wonderful things in the New Age, and there's a lot of maladies as well. And the word light and actually also the word love were abused a lot of times. And I know for me, darkness, I so resonate with what was said here. Darkness is light and the same, and I visit the underworld a lot with my clients. That's my biggest gift. Can go down with them to those places. So for me, like, just light is, it's a little bit triggering for me because I hear it a lot. Because there's a lot of something behind it. Of we are only light and dark is not welcomed here. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Gaining consciousness,
Mhm.
coming together. I might use the word radiance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Mhm.
So be patient.
Mhm.
So, dear ones, let's breathe deeply. One of the things I do differently, or I've learned to do differently than a lot of leaders, is I used to say, take a breath. Well, that's effort. Allow a deep breath. That balances the sympathetic and parasympathetic. You allow it to come in nice and long and really fill. The body loves to pause full. You let it come all the way out and fully empty. Nice and slow, it finds its own way out and pause. The body loves to be empty. And that can, over time, that kind of breathing, reset the vagal brake, we may talk about at some point, and the parasympathetic system. Pardon me. So what I like to do with this second part is use the invocation and call in the Council of 12, and we'll call in your guides and angels, any beings of radiant light that want to serve with you as we work. And you may find occasionally while we're channeling that your guides and angels are over here with a message or two or imagery for you, and that's fine. Just follow that. And you can watch what we're doing on the replay. And when you're ready, come back to what all we're sharing. So they usually have a message, a Dharma message as they start, and then we'll open for inquiries. And almost every question applies to everyone here. Things like, should I move here or there? Don't. Someone once asked, which of these three dentists? That doesn't really help everyone else, but almost every question, the responses will serve everyone here. Okay, are you ready? Jen, are you going to sit back there? Jen, okay, we see you. Great. So breathing and grounding. Allow yourself to center, flow right into the core of your body, arriving in the heart of now. I ask the angels and archangels, please create for us a crystalline temple of radiant energy all around each of us and all around any of us in the replay, cleansing and clearing all energies not of the light from around any of us, and weaving for each person our own chrysalis of radiance filled with that which is at the heart of your being and the heart of Source. And all of those rays and vibrations that you're needing for this work today. I ask God, Goddess, source of all that is, encompasses so completely in your radiant heart that only beings serving love, light, and truth may participate in any way. Deepest healing and highest guidance is received. Invoking the radiant heart of your being to come be with you and guide you and assist you in breathing in all that you need and releasing all that serves. I welcome into this sacred temple the Council of 12, and I welcome those beings from the heart of Source itself who are guides or angels for anyone here. Greetings, dear ones. We greet you, we bless you. We're honored to be with you. We find it quite exciting to see this constellation of the group coming together. And we wish to be of as much service to you as you would like. And even when you're between these weeks, if you wish to call upon the Council of 12, we always come. We come because there are many of us on the inner planes who are dedicated, devoted to serving those who are, we want to say light workers. What do we say here? Those who are serving the evolution of the new order of consciousness on the earth. So when you ask for support of us or your guides, you're helping us do what we want to do. You see, our passion. And when we offer that support, when it's asked, because we're not codependent, we don't do people's lives. We don't really want a life, so we won't take over yours. But when you ask, and you ask for collaboration with us, that activates something on the inner planes that helps to show you your path. And you can actually ask that of your guidance. Show me my path. I call upon, and always use an invocation. I call upon the most radiant, heart-centered, or God-goddess-centered beings of light to guide me. Show me my next steps. Be with me. So often in Evelina's evolution of her work over 40 some years, we have asked for a staff meeting. And so if we can get on her calendar, it's often pretty full, we'll create a couple hours in an evening to sit together to collaborate about her life and her work. So we ask that she bring a journal, something to draw on, drawing materials, and sit with us. And then she says her prayers, lights some candles, and says her prayers of what she'd like. Gets really still. And then finds herself writing or recording and things coming through. And you know what people want to do is that the guides or is that me? Well, what if it's a yes? That is what happens when I open to the higher levels of consciousness in my being, that guidance and I are one. And so I'm calling through wisdom, and it's maybe my soul wisdom, maybe it's guidance, maybe it's God. I just keep asking for the purest wisdom. And then you record it. One of the early times that this happened with Evelina, she was thinking, there's some kind of workshop I want to do. And these things, they kind of cook in you, they percolate. So it had been percolating. And we said, would you sit down and let us work with you on this? And she sat, she got still, went into meditation. She started drawing, and the entire flyer in the Age of Flyers came out. Beautiful chalice with these rays, and I think there was a heart in the center, and all of the words came like a poem. And the title, there was nothing left but to add the date and the times. So that's how potent it can be if you really allow yourself access to source. So most likely next week, we'll be talking about accessing all means of knowing. And we may do some work with accessing your guidance, your guides. If you wish, there is a recording on Evelina's website, we'll post that too, that is called Collaborating with Spirit. And that is a way of sitting with your guides and deepening the connection with them. So it gives you a head start on that. The more that you allow this partnering with Source, that you allow yourself to access the beings of light who are committed to your good, the easier your life becomes. So what if you imagine that this beautiful new level that you're wanting to bring through is inspired within spirit as well as within you? It's inspired in that which is you, which is spirit, which actually is everything. There's nothing outside of spirit. So it's inspired in you. What if you imagine that there are other beings of light that would love to participate? If you ask, if you wish to collaborate with us, with your guides, with the council, there are many of us here, you might say it expands your reach. And very often, just like she had no idea what that flyer was going to be, very often wisdom comes through that's yours, it's been evolving in you. And in that rarefied space that you create with Source, it becomes evident. So you might say this process you did with the questions. It's not like new information came in, but information came in that was outside of your conscious awareness, you see. And so part of expanding into next level expressions is to access what's outside of your conscious awareness and think with higher mind. When you do that, if you sit in meditation or you just want to sit and do some planning and your mind is busy, you want to thank it, because conscious mind can be pretty busy and chatty and it's trying really hard to serve you, but it may not have your answers. So you say, conscious mind, I love you. You're so good. You help me all the time. I really appreciate how hard you work for me. And right now, I'm wanting a spiritual experience and I'm asking for guidance from higher realms. So I'd like you to come sit on this pillow over here, and you give it a pillow. And take notes. We'll talk later. And it helps to clear your consciousness to receive. And then ego comes up, you start listening and ego says, how do you know that's not you? And it's guidance. And you say, I don't. And right now I'm having a spiritual experience You're really good, ego, in helping me deal with the here and now. I appreciate that. But I'm creating some change. So I know you like to compare what's happening to what has happened in the past and make now the status quo. Right now, I'd like you to just witness, because we might have a new ground floor when I get done talking to Spirit. So here's a pillow for you. Take notes. And then you open your crown and you start activating your connection with these higher realms of consciousness. Sorry, we do think of them as higher just in terms of the next vibration up in your chakra system. And there's a resource on the Mighty Network, so the 12 levels of the chakras. We'll work with it next time. But if you want to look at it, it helps you realize, oh, I only tend to work with this, and there's so much more. And if you're already adding that, that's great. The spiritual bypass is you go out here, but you lose connection to your body and your ground. And we're talking about something different. Deeply ground, arrive in your core, open from your heart, so it's like a blossoming into these more rarefied levels of your consciousness. Receiving in the heart. Otherwise, you can go visit all of these realms, but you don't bring much back. It's not incorporated. But when you expand, and we love to think of it as, it's kind of like the chakra system. We have your roots, and send them deep and then let them spread out. Evelina's preference. Deep, 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 like down to a vein of tourmaline or crystal of some kind. And then you let them anchor in that. And then this is like the stem, then it starts opening in the solar plexus. You know, flowers have this base. So that's the solar plexus. And then the heart wants to blossom like a flower. And a fully open heart chakra is 6 feet across. If you ask Divine Mother to hold you, you can put your whole 6 foot or whatever frame inside of her heart chakra. So that expands, and then that opens the throat and the third eye and the crown. And when you're fully activated, it looks kind of like this. And then third dimension grabs you, it looks like this. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm in that place again. Oh no, oh no. And then you pray and you use your practices. The Bija mantrams are great for this, and expand up again and open. And it's an opening and a closing. So when you close, just go, oh, I guess I need to be closed today. And love yourself. And then come back to opening. Because if you fight the closing, it's hard to get to the opening. And what if everything that goes on in your consciousness is really okay? What if you let go of all the judgment of self? And just go, oh, human mind again. All right. Okay. Because when you let go of the judgment, you get to decide, am I going to follow those thoughts? Or am I going to come back to love? And you know this idea about thought creates reality? People use it as a beat up. How did I manage to create that? But it's really a little different than that. It's like at every moment, there are many thoughts you could follow. There's the old one, the old neuronal pathways, the one that takes you to anger at yourself or beat up or whatever it is your pattern is. And then there's some brighter thoughts, some thoughts that take you into a higher state. And there's some that might just take you right up into the highest consciousness. And thought creates reality because your choice of this creates one reality, this creates another reality, this another, and this another. And that thought that raises you up is another reality. So you vote for your reality by the thoughts you allow to continue in your consciousness. Most people feel trapped in their mind. Oh my God, my mind just keeps going on, and my mind this and my mind that. Well, you are not your mind. You are something very vast and divine that took a little bit of itself, put it in an incarnation for a set of experiences, knowing that if you lean into your soul, you can learn the lessons and come back to the radiance that you are. But you want to be really patient with this, because your soul created an incarnation with limitations for a reason. So you get to look at them and go, okay, can I understand what this is about? Or can I choose differently? And it's really over time, and many of you have experienced this, you align more and more with the place in you that chooses the thoughts you want to live with, and that chooses the realities you want to follow. So breathing deeply, taking that in. Perhaps a little commitment, because we know commitment creates change, a little commitment in your heart. I now commit myself to choose my thoughts wisely, to choose thoughts that create the reality I want to live in. And I further commit myself, when I do less than that, to be kind, to always be kind to myself, especially at my growing edges. And see how that feels. So what we'd like to do now is open the space for inquiries. So tune in. What does your heart want to ask, or your mind, or some part of you wish to ask of the councils of light? When you're ready, unmute or raise your hand, and we'll be happy to hear your inquiry.
I have a question.
Yes.
I would like to ask the council how they discern false light and how they navigate truth and untruth in this 3D reality as multidimensional beings.
Your heart knows the difference. If someone is showing you a radiance that is false, there's a way it's going to look or feel flat. And your intuitive consciousness will pick that up. The tendency is to think, oh, no, it's okay, not to negate that, but somewhere, feels like somewhere in your consciousness, Brooke, there's always a little signal, and you want to learn to listen to that signal. And you don't have to be sure. You can challenge anyone, any being that comes in that expresses itself as guidance. You can say, this is what we've always said before, Jen, sorry, show me your light. So now in this consciousness, show me your radiance, or show me how you're connected to the heart of the divine. And you can call in, Evelina would use the goddess Kali. You can say, Kali Ma, come here. If there's anything serving less than the heart of love and light, please remove it from my space right now. She's creator, preserver, destroyer. So she's creatrix, she's the mother goddess. If there's something that needs to be nurtured in you, she'll be there for it. She preserves that which needs to be preserved, and she destroys that which is destructive. So if some energy comes into your space and you're suspicious, call in Kali or require it to show you its radiance, its connection to source. Is that helpful? Does that address the question?
Yes, it's helpful. Thank you.
Mhm. It's interesting because people will often report the more they get into the light, the more other energies might come in. We know someone who said she actually didn't want us to change this, so she kind of liked it. But she said, as the light workers get brighter, the darkness attacks more. Not a very fun belief to hold. We might just say that's a good one to blow up. If you have that belief, we do feel that energies that are looking for something that they don't have will be attracted to those that have a brilliance around them. And you just go, no thanks. Could someone take this to a better place to be? And the reason we like working with Kali is she destroys its connection to you, but she doesn't destroy the energy. She takes it to its next level of evolution, which is a good prayer to ask of your guides or whomever. Please take this energy to its own next highest level of evolution. It's the same that we do when we clear any kind of entity off someone. Is we want it to go somewhere good, somewhere that serves it, you see. And then it doesn't come back. We've seen a lot of people who will clear entities or clear spirits or clear piggybacks, other souls that are lost, and they keep returning because they don't have anywhere else to go. So you give them a wonderful place to go. Spirit does. And the more that Evelina grows, the more she lets us do all the work. She bosses us around all the time. But she also says we boss her around, so it's okay. We give each other assignments because it's a collaboration. Thank you. Breathing. Next inquiry. Yvonne?
So I totally identify the truth about what you're saying about going to the higher vibration thoughts. And I see I have some addiction about going to the lower thoughts. It's easier for me to go to that place.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any way, any easier way to go to that place? To elevate the vibration, basically.
It's really a moment-to-moment choosing. So in any moment, you look at the thoughts you're thinking, go, do I like these thoughts? What would I like to think? And you bring in a thought you prefer thinking. So it's the challenging part is getting the awareness to make the choice. And it's a process. You learn it. Every moment, if you just watch your thoughts, is this a thought that elevates me? And especially thoughts about self. Can I shift this thought? So I just said, well, that was a stupid choice. Okay. What's the positive version of that? I could have made a better choice. Oh, now I've got hope. You see, now I've just shown myself that I have choice. I have agency. I have choice here. And so you can take any thought at any moment and go, how's that? You could even give yourself a a little scale of 0 to 10. How much do I like to think that thought? And up level whatever thoughts you're thinking. Evelina has an interesting story about this, which is I went to a party in Marin. I knew about 40 of the 60 people. And I looked around. It was when I was seeking a relationship, and I went, we've all ruled each other out. Everybody here wants a relationship. I know most of them. And all the single people want a relationship, and they've all ruled each other out. There's no hope for any of us. And I just got smaller and smaller. I wanted to curl up in a corner and die or go home. And all of a sudden I went, I don't like what I'm thinking. What do I want to think? Up to that point, no one was talking to me. I would stand next to two people around the food. Nobody would include me. Nobody would dance with me. I was totally alone. What do I want to think? I am well romanced, well loved, well received. People enjoy talking to me. They love dancing with me, and I'm having a wonderful time. If it were a movie, there would have been this wavy thing across the screen, because instantaneously people started talking to me. They danced with me. They included me. I had an amazing evening. So that's how you do it. You go, do I like what I'm thinking? What do I want to think? And you school your thoughts. And when you fall into a thought that you're not fond of, just go, oh, sweetie, let's think this instead. Sometimes the thoughts that detract from self-esteem or self-love are coming up from a younger part of you that needed to hold a place, like these parts in Evelina that held anger. When a person, this is from Maureen St. Germain, she has a great book about this. When a person is still young enough to be magical in their thinking, she says, they create personal entities, in a positive sense of entities. So at that almost birth age, she created one to do anger and one to do terror. And that's what we do. We create those aspects to handle parts of life. But they stay in that job until you go in and, like the inner system work, or you do something with parts work, you go in and love them up and help them know, I don't need you to do that anymore, and bring them into current time. When all of you is in current time, it's so much easier to be in the thoughts you want. Yeah. And basically you help them realize, if you come into my heart and be here with me now, I'll take care of everything. You get to be a child. And then they let go of those jobs. Sometimes they want to take off their work clothes and burn them, or something symbolic of it. And you get the children to realize they're here to play and you're here to be the adult on duty. So it's accessing that adult on duty if you're not liking the output of your mind. Thank you. You're welcome. Next inquiry. What would you most like to know, get input on, or offer? Because this is also a time, if you're guided to share something with someone who asks, that there's room for that. Olivia?
Yes, please. With everything that I've been listening to and the questions that have been posed, the one thing that is surfacing for me in this moment is that the idea of thoughts, and thoughts become matter. we started from the formless to the form. And I'd like to ask the Council of Light is how did we actually engineer that, if I can use that word, so that to be able to understand how our thoughts actually create our reality. I think it was Brooke who mentioned false light. So that is a creation in sorts. The creation of this light or shadow in the realm within we live in on this planet, in this dimension. It is relevant, I guess, to some degree to our human experience. But how do we then, how are we contributing to those thoughts becoming forms in this dimension? Is that question clear? I'm not sure.
Big one. I think what we want to share first is that the creation that led to the incarnation begins with angelic energies emanating out from source. And then those angelic energies create souls. And then the souls create incarnations on various planes of existence, one being this third dimension. When a soul chooses to set up an incarnation, it does so because it has a curiosity. We feel the creatrix is infinitely curious. Same one that created every snowflake different. Now that's curiosity, because who notices? But it's kind of like, because I can. And in the same way, every incarnation is that unique from everything else. So if you're going to do a gazillion incarnations throughout time and space, they're all going to be really different, very unique, and probably a bit weird. And everyone wants to think that the goal is to become clear of all of that. But you already are in your soul. In your incarnation, you're working something out. You're in a curriculum. So in that curriculum of, I'm studying love, so I'm going to create a childhood with the absolute lack of love. Or I'm studying sovereignty, so I'm going to create powerlessness in my childhood and my culture. So in that curriculum, your consciousness may create the kinds of realities that let you learn what you're here to learn. And you may notice over time that the thoughts used to create more powerlessness, now they create more power, and now they create a sense of universal power, and they keep taking you to a more rarefied experience of whatever you're studying. But the studies remain. And so sometimes where your thoughts take you is exactly the lesson plan for the moment. Example. You all know Evelina's in a lesson plan around ancient anger and terror. So this morning she woke up, instead of being all prepared and light-filled and in her radiance and ready for this, she was angry and everything was bugging her. She was in that old reality. She woke up in it, was probably in it in her sleep, because it's wanting to be released. So she looked at that and went, okay, how do I transition from here to where I want to be for the mentorship? That would have kept her in complaining about everything, which you all would have wanted to meet that part of her. Maybe another day, but not today. And so she started doing her practices and she started connecting with Babaji, who's the primary guide that you're listening to now and that she works with. And the invitation was, let's meet in the heart of God. And so as she was doing the Bija mantrams and some other sounding, she kept calling for thoughts that would take her into that place of unity. You see? The incarnational patterns of her, what she's here to learn, were totally counterproductive to that. But it's kind of like, I'll get back to you, but not today. Today, I'm accessing this. And she's really fourth and fifth dimension now. She's not third dimension. But when you're in that third dimensional curriculum, you want to be just really kind to yourself. I'm here for a reason. What am I to learn? What are the lessons? I'll get out of this as soon as I get them. Or how do I transmute this, which may be the lesson, you see. I'm not sure we answered your specific question, so if we haven't, ask it again.
I believe you have. I've actually gained a little bit more insight. I had some very interesting experiences as a child and experienced a lot of trauma, but I realized subsequently years later that I'm not a victim, but I also had a curiosity as to why it was I created that for myself. And in the minutes that you were speaking, I understood that that creation was due to the fact that my soul desires to cultivate a deeper love and compassion. So I needed those experiences to kind of shape that and understand and get a sense or a feeling of this deeper sense of love.
Yes.
So thank you. Yes, you did answer. Thank you.
Exactly. There's a phrase in the Old Testament and some other religious traditions, my soul enhances the Lord. As we said, the creatrix, what's behind all of this, is infinitely curious. And so souls do these journeys and incarnations, and it actually expands the consciousness of the one being. So it's not just, people will go, why did my soul put me into this? No, your soul knows that if you do your work here, you're going to soar. But you start wherever you start. It may not be up here. And part of the reasoning is, or the reason behind it is, that the divine cannot know what it is. So it gets really curious. Well, what is this unconditional love? I am it. All the beings of the angelic realms are in it. Many souls at the higher level are in it. So I need to allow something to occur that is not that. So we can study what it is. So we can expand it. So in a way, you're all here on a mission from the divine to add to the understanding and the consciousness of the one being. That kind of makes what we've been through okay, right? Yeah. It's all intentional, but it's not being done to you. Because your soul knows that you will move beyond it and come back to your full radiant being. And every once in a while, Evan will say, I know my soul trusts me, but I think it thinks too much of me by what it asks. But it's also there to guide you. It's also there to bring all the support of all these realms to you. Thank you. That was rich. So feels like Jan asked first. Is that true? and then Marie.
Oh,
and
I,
then Juliet.
I just, I just had, some guide was saying, it wanted to ask a question of us humans or something, or it wanted to turn it around. So I don't know, there's something that, the council wants to ask of us.
Hmm.
It might have gone now, but
We saw you
that's
laugh.
it. I know. I laugh a lot when I talk to spirits.
Good. Well, we'll see if there's something to ask, but we'd like to go to the next question then. We'll see what wants to come through. Marie.
Okay, I have to unmute.
You're unmuted.
Oh, good, good. So in the world of energy that I practice, okay, my belief is when you say your thought creates reality, for me, your thought, every thought you have is energy. And energy is like electromagnetic energy. So your aura is energy. Your chakras are energy. When you talk about grounding, you're sending energy down.
Mhm.
When you're bringing energy in. You're so it's all energy. And I love working with you to bring it into more of a spiritual world, because my world is a lot about energy. So
Mhm.
when you say like a negative thought, or I don't know how to explain this, but I actually believe that spirit gives us the gift of this aura that's filled with all types of energy.
Mhm.
And when you think any thought, it's energy. Just like a phone that you're holding that you can't see where the wire goes, that's electromagnetic energy.
Mhm.
And that's what we're given. And our intuition, I believe, is the gift from spirit. And when you say go to your heart, for me, I go to up into my intuitive center, which is in the sixth chakra, which is your pituitary gland, and
Mhm.
say hello to my high spirit. And my high spirit says hello back. And that's where I get all my intuitive knowledge
Ooh,
from.
lovely.
So I just wanted to bring that in because it's all energy.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like, I don't know how else to put it. And I love having saints and guides and spirits and knowing they're around there and they're helping us and they're guiding us. And like you said, they don't do anything unless you ask,
Right.
because as far as they're concerned, everything's perfect.
Right.
So they don't have any judgment. So
Mhm.
if you need something, you have to ask for it.
Exactly.
But it's, when you say lift up to the you have to think it. When you think it, you're doing it.
Yes.
Whatever you think you're doing, you're doing.
Mhm.
That's just wanted to bring that in.
Beautiful. Yeah, from the guidance place, we just go, interesting path. There's no judgment because you chose to come and do it. We don't want to make what you're doing wrong. You're just on the journey.
Mhm.
And you know when the journey of all this healing that you're doing of yourself, do you know when it completes? For lucky people, it completes with your last breath in this body. And for people who aren't doing their work, it completes on the inner planes, maybe in the next, what you think of as years after passing, or maybe centuries. So you can let go of, I've got to get this handled. And just settle into learning. It's just a schoolroom. Juliet. Thank you, Marie.
So it's kind of back to what you were talking about before. So, and I think I have a different context by which I'm thinking of this. So this morning, I woke up and I just felt off. Like I just like I felt off and I was like I just like, oh, what do I do with this? So I was out doing my practice, which is barefoot on the ground and doing my sun radiance things and all this stuff. And so what you're saying is that, so I called in help. I said, okay, and the sun wasn't out, right? I said, okay, I need the sun. Like, I need the sun. And the sun came out. I mean, out of the clouds and came out. And it was like, and so when I say about, it's not the light, it's like what I think is happening is what you're saying, and I'm not sure. So it's like these energies come in that, like the energy came in this morning, and that's something that's followed me, like this energy that's kind of heavy and but I have the ability to be able to move that energy. I don't have to live in that energy. And I think that's what this is about. I think it's like, oh my God, I can ask for assistance. I can ask for help. I can use tools. I can do things to not have to live in the energy that makes me feel that way. And it's not about being in a whoa land and I'm this lighter and, it's just that I'm like, oh, wow, I'm in my body and I'm available for whatever could come in. This could happen, that could happen, something bad, some feeling, but I have the ability to move and shift that. And that's what I feel like you're saying that is so important. And that's really what I'm after is that's what I'm learning, is that I have that ability to shift where I'm at.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's really the game. I mean, and I don't want to say game, but I mean, it's like, that's what it's about.
Yeah. That's how you work your curriculum.
That's
Yeah.
how you kill them. You let it come in, you go, oh, I see you. Okay, I'm here with you. What do you need to know? What are you trying to show me? Like, I know there's this sadness that follows me. So I'm like, okay, I got that. And I'm trying to see what that is, but I can shift that too.
Mhm.
Bring it into a place where I can hold it in a different way. Like, I'm holding it now in an awareness. Oh, come on, I can be with you. Come here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can love it.
Mhm, mhm.
And in a sense, you love it into now. But
That's
you meet it where it is and love it into now.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's what I feel is happening. Yeah, that's great. That was like I saw that as you were talking. Wow, that's what happened. That's what it's about. And then you start to feel grateful. Like then the gratitude was like pouring out of me, because it was like I could still have that part, but yet I didn't have to be that part.
Exactly.
Okay.
We feel what you're talking about is agency.
Mhm.
You develop the capacity for agency to act upon your life, to be in a place of choice more and more.
Mhm.
And people don't tend to talk about agency, but it's a form of sovereignty.
Mhm.
And over time, what we see in so many people we work with is that they may start this process with a whole lot of parts and pieces that are almost like a team of wild horses pulling in different directions. And over time, the more that you love those parts into now, the more you're growing what might be called a positive aware ego,
Mm.
or
Okay.
some call it the inner self-helper, or the essence nature
Mhm.
that's able to be at the center of your life and make these choices.
Right.
And so that essence nature, or conscious adult, aware adult, whatever you want to call it, you grow it by bringing parts of you into current time, like we're talking about, nurturing those parts and loving them, being with the sadness, spending time with it
Mhm. Mhm.
and loving it.
Mhm.
But you're in that place of the inner self-helper or the essence nature that's coming to the sadness,
Mhm.
rather than you're dissolving into the sadness. Now, that's not saying that there aren't times when going into an emotion and dissolving into it may be what's needed to
Oh, yeah.
clear it. And the more agency you develop, the more you're able to be the resource brought to the state that needs the resource.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So there is an article on the website called Psychic Soul Retrieval, which is the kind of soul retrieval that we've developed. And we want to say this is how we grow, because we didn't know this tool until Evelina was working with someone she'd worked with for like 25 years. She's channeled to her business and done incest work with her and so on. And at one point she was channeling Aphrodite, and the person said, Aphrodite is not fair. We spend our whole childhood in these abuse situations, and then we spend our adulthood trying to get over it. There's got to be a better way. And Aphrodite said, we'll take it under advisement. And within a week, we started doing this soul retrieval that clears trauma really fast. So you might read about it. We're sure we'll do it at some point in this cohort. And it's finding that scene that just doesn't go away, and getting your adult really grounded, and then asking Divine Mother to go with you into that scene, going to that child, love them up, let them know who you are and that you're here to take care of them, and ask if they'd like to come live in your heart chakra with you. And then if they say yes, and they almost always do, or with a little therapeutic support they do, then you ask Divine Mother to bring them and you all the way through space and time, all the way through space and time into the heart, into the date that you're working with, and ask the angels to make the perfect room for that age in your heart. And then we invite them to make a big rocking seat for Divine Mother to hold the child and the adult. And you breathe in her love, you breathe all the emotions into her heart. Now the trauma's back there, and that soul fragment is here. And the more you retrieve these soul fragments from those unresolved experiences, the more you have agency, the more you build this core self. Yummy. So we grow too. And that enhanced the creatrix by us being challenged to find a new way. And it's happening all the time now. It happens with many, many channels if they let go of trying to think they know what they're saying, and they really allow spirit to use their voice. We're all growing. So, dear ones, this is beautiful. Is there anything else that wants to get shared? We have about 9 minutes, because then we want to do a closing. Any thoughts? I'm enjoying Jan laughing with her guides. They might as well be entertaining, you know? So how about each person unmute and share just a sentence or 2 or 3 about what you've learned today, or any reflections on this experience together today. Or anything you'd like the group to know.
Well, I can share. It's just been absolutely lovely and enjoyable. And one of the things that came up when the council started was I'm on just to let you know, I'm on a walking workstation. So I'm not sitting, which is kind of probably obvious because I move all the time. So I sat down on my cushion, and then the spirits were just like, you're working too hard. And so I just laid down and they basically gave me a massage. And that's one of the things that I'm looking at in my life, is switching from, well, I'll be honest, I was trying to save the world. I was out there saving the world, for the longest time. And then I've been working with enjoying, and curiosity is a huge part of my life now. I just recently decided that that's my center, is curiosity. That's what guides, so that fit exactly. And I got some specifics around intention that I'll share on the when we write our intentions. So it's just been absolutely lovely and very synchronous. And I just feel very at home in this group, and wonderful to be here with you, Evelina, and finally get to do this. I missed you when you went off to the North Carolina. So yeah, wonderful.
Would you like some sparkles?
Oh, sure.
So if you'd like to offer sparkles.
Yeah, lots of sparkles. Thank you very much.
Who else?
Well,
I'd like,
Let's do Marie and then Olivia.
I'm just so pleased to be here and to be part of this group. For some reason, I have found myself not involved with too many people doing this work. I felt myself alone out here in Florida by myself. And the connection now is wonderful. People speaking my language and understanding what I'm talking about. And it's just, all I can say is thank you to be back in the world of people doing all this beautiful work. Thank you.
Welcome back. Welcome home. Yeah. Would you like some sparkles?
Oh, absolutely.
I think we're creating a new addiction. We want to have positive addictions, though.
Thank you.
And who else?
I feel as though I may be on the same wavelength as Marie. Every time she steps forward to say something, I feel we're both stepping forward to say something at the same time, which I'm so amused by. I am too. I'm going to just echo what Jen O and Marie said, is just truly grateful being here, being part of this community, meeting all of you and connecting with all of you. I am not even going to pretend to say, oh, I would like for it to kind of look this way or the outcome, but feeling the presence, and that I was much more present on the Zoom than I've been on any other Zoom. And everything that I took in was incredible from everyone. And so I feel like I've leveled up a little bit. Just this beginning here, I've leveled up a little bit in terms of wisdom, because in listening to everybody speak, I was able to glean a lot. So thank you.
Beautiful. Would you like some sparkles?
I would absolutely love it.
Kind
of tickly.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Thank you.
Juliet?
I'm going to echo what Olivia said. I have been doing a lot of Zoom things and biomancy for a year and all this stuff. And this is the most in my body I have ever been on a Zoom call. I mean, I'm in my body. I'm like, I'm really here. Like, I'm here. Like, wow. And it's like, wow, how did that happen? Like, and I don't know what shifted, but I'm really here. And it feels really good. And, whether it was when I was out this morning, whether it was the energy that was set, whether that's what this container is supposed to do which is what I've been wanting, embodiment, and being able to be in my body and be able to be available to whatever shows up, like without having to just be here. And I'm here. And, so I have no idea where this is going in 8 weeks. I have no clue. I mean, I just found out about it yesterday. I barely had a chance to sign up for what I was doing, but I just felt I should. And I don't know where it's going, but it doesn't matter because I'm here and I'm right here right now. And that's really great. Like, so I'm like open, like whatever. Yeah. So that's really the best. I think.
Beautiful. Like some sparkles?
Yes. Send them on. And you know what I want to say is it's just as good to give them too.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It is. So thank you.
So I want to tell you all as a secret about that kind of embodiment on Zoom. It's that you keep involvement, action. So even the sparkles, you see, it brings us really present with each person, and you're feeling them receive. So it brings you more present. And so I think what happens on a lot of Zooms is you just get passive and you're not present because it's not interactive. But when you make it interactive, when there's something of value that people are doing, not just tell me where you're from, but offering love, it brings you fully present. Works, huh?
I also think it's the opening practices that you're grounding us. You were like, and then I think that chilled my heart. I think the things you did set the stage to come in.
Yes.
And so that was beautiful. So thank you.
We'll always start with embodiment because then we're here. Otherwise, we're trying to get here, but embodiment brings us. Yeah. Who else? Johan?
I'm so grateful to be here. I feel very soft and present, and a lot of the things that you said were resonating. A lot of like practices that I'm already starting to do them, and it's nice to go and deepen into that specific place. So I'm so feeling right, and it was lovely to meet all of you and to get to know, and there's so much reverence and resonation here. I'm so very grateful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Would you like
And
sparkles?
yes, please, sparkles. Yeah.
Brooke, would you like to share?
Yes. I was just writing and whatnot because I was having like a full circle moment. I think that when we come together, we're all such very powerful mirrors. And just hearing from a couple of people we just had difficult mornings, and then we got together on this call, and like I just started seeing how everything was connected. And like there was, for me, it was a part of my inner child felt very rejected and whatnot, and I got to see that and see how it played out this morning, and then seeing the things that you all were talking about, seeing how our thoughts were kind of creating that reality, how things were coming up, and so it's just, I feel a lot better from the beginning of the call until now, and I just feel really grateful that it's just again the confirmation that we're so much stronger together in community more than ever these days. So thank you guys for showing up and showing your essence, and I'm just really excited for what the next couple of weeks are going to look like.
Yay. Like some sparkles? Oh. So your shares are my joy. Thank you all. I feel we've had a really successful launch and I'm very pleased. And I love what's possible in these groups because they're really guided by, in large part, your questions and your shares and your desires here. And very co-creative. Yay. Then I'll take some sparkles. Oh, thank you. So I do have a question. I should have asked a little sooner, possibly. If I find one or two people that feel like they're a really good fit, would you be open to me adding to the group? Or would you like to keep it this size? So how many would be open to me adding? And how I would like to keep it just this 6, these. Okay, well, I'll see. I will be very guided if I bring someone in and I'll bring them up to date. And if they come in, can I let them see this replay? Because once they're in the Mighty Networks group, it'll be available. Is that okay?
Would have to.
Hmm?
I think they would have to see it to be able to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
I
All
agree.
right, thank you. So let's take a moment and we do awe in the heart, Om, and up into the being 3 times. Full breath. Om. Again, coming back to yourself. Om. Once more. And because I notice on Zoom we tend to merge, maybe even more than in a circle in a live circle, present, we're alive, I don't know whatever you call it. I like to do an unmerge at the end of our time. So it goes like this. We can do it all together. Hands in front of the heart. I honor you to everyone. I bless you. I release you. The right hand sends everyone's energies out to them and the left brings you back. The crown. Third eye, I release you with love. I bring myself back. And the throat, I release you with love and I bring me in. Breathe yourself in. And the heart, I release you with love. I bring myself back. Solar plexus, I release you with love. I bring me home. Breathe yourself in. And the second, I release you with love. I bring myself back. And the first, release you with love. Pour yourself into yourself. And reach up again into the light of your being and outline your auric field. As we do this, I want to thank the Council of 12 and all of our radiant beings of highest consciousness. We release you and we ask for the highest guidance. Help us walk our paths with miracles of grace and ease. Blessed be. All right, thank you. We'll see you next week. Same link.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Please post your intentions in the Mighty Networks. And that right now would be a good time if you just plan that after the group or soon.
Okay. Good.
All right. Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.